Hello future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here are again continuation of the solved problems in Algebra 3, 4, and 5. This is part 2. So computer help hotline receives on average 6 calls per hour asking for assistance. The distribution is Poisson's. For any randomly selected hour, find the probability that the company will receive at least 6 calls. So the Poisson's distribution, the formula for exactly x calls is equal to e to the negative x times lambda to the x all over x factorial. So that's the density function for Poisson's distribution, e to the negative lambda times lambda to the x all over x factorial. Sorry, I mentioned e to the x. E to the negative lambda times lambda to the x over x factorial, where lambda is the average number of calls in this problem. So for the probability that the company will receive at least 6 calls, that should be the probability under the distribution curve where the number of calls is 6 or more. So 6 to infinity. But to make it easier to calculate, we should compute the area lying to the left, and therefore it is 1 minus the area which corresponds to 0 number of calls, 1 number of calls, 2, 3, up to 5 calls. That is, probability that the company will receive at least 6 calls is equal to 1 minus the sum of the probabilities that the company will receive fewer than 6 calls. So that is 0, 1, 2, up to 5 calls. So that's why we have here summation for your calculator so that you can compute it easily from 0 to 5. 0 to 5 calls, then e to the negative lambda, lambda to the x over x factorial, where lambda is equal to 6 in this case, the average number of calls. Substituting, so 1 minus summation from 0 to 5, e to the negative 6, 6 to the x over x factorial, we'll get 1 minus 0.4457. So this is equal to 0.4457. So the probability that the company will receive more than or at least 6 calls is equal to 0.5543. Specifically, this is also equal to, so if we evaluate each case, it is equal to 1 minus the quantity e to the negative 6, 6 to the 0 over 0 factorial, plus e to the negative 6, 6 to the 1 over 1 factorial, plus e to the negative 6, 6 to the 2 over 2 factorial, plus e to the negative 6, 6 cubed over 3 factorial, plus e to the negative 6, 6 to the 4th over 4 factorial, then plus e to the negative 6, 6 to the 5 over 5 factorial, close. So computing each term, so we have 1 minus the quantity 0.002479, the second is 0.01487, the third 0.04462, the fourth 0.08924, the fifth 0.1339, and the sixth 0.1606. So combining and subtracting from 1, the answer is the same, 0.5543. Then problem 8, a retail merchant invested 325,000 pesos in 3 kinds of cameras. The profit on the sales of camera A was 25%, on the sales of camera B the profit was 12% and there was a loss of 1% on the sales of camera C. If the merchant invested an equal amount in cameras A and B and the overall profit on the total investment was 14%, how much was invested in camera C? So take note that the merchant invested equal amounts in cameras A and B, and there was the rate for A and B would be positive and that for C it's negative. So we will call X as the principal or the amount invested for camera C, P sub C as X. Therefore, the amount invested to A and B rather, would be equal to each other, and it is equal to 325,000 minus X all over 2. So 325,000 minus X all over 2. Then substitute interest is equal to, or the profit is equal to principal invested at A times rate of interest earned in A plus principal in B times rate of interest gained in B, then plus dot 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 and so on and so forth. The rate, if the rate is positive, if you are gaining, then it is positive, but if you are losing, treat the rate as negative. So substitute I is the net interest or in profit is 14% of the total investment, so this is 0.14 of 325,000 is equal to quantity 325,000 minus X all over 2 times 0.25 plus that of B, which is same principal, same amount invested, then times 0.12. Then for camera C, so plus X times negative 0.01. So calculating, because this is calculator aided, then 325, that's 45,500. Then the right side 325,000 times 0.25 over 2 plus 325,000 times 0.12 over 2, and for X negative 0.25 X over 2 negative 0.12 X over 2 negative 0.01. So in the left side we have 45,500, in the right side 60,125 minus 0.195 X. Solving for X, 60,125 minus 45,500 divided by 0.195. So we can now compute X, and it is 75,000 pesos. Problem 9. A radiator contains 30 quarts of water and antifreeze solution, of which 60% by volume is antifreeze. How much of this solution should be drained and replaced with water for the new solution to be 40% antifreeze? So we are talking here of antifreeze, and we will call the amount to be drained and to be replaced with water as X. So therefore, if we are talking of antifreeze, then the pure amount of antifreeze left after we drained the solution would be 0.6, or the amount left would be 30 minus X, where X is the amount to be drained and to be replaced with water. So 30 minus X times 0.6 in the original, then to be added by, because we have to replace the amount that is drained by same amount X, but this time it is water, so plus X, and the amount of antifreeze in that water is 0. So plus x times 0, then equals the total amount back will be back to 30 quarts, but the resulting solution would be 40% antifreeze. So it is equated to 30 times 0.4. So there is sense because of course from 60%, if you drain certain amount from the original mixture and replace it with water, which is 0% antifreeze, its concentration will reduce from 60% to 40% only. So computing 30 times 0.6, that's 18 minus 0.6, x equals 12. And therefore 18 minus 12, which is 6, divided by 0.6, so x is 10 quarts. And you can imagine that from 60% of 30, it is now 40% of 30 or 12. So x is 10 quarts. Problem 10. Every freshman engineering student at a particular college is required to take basic mathematics aptitude test. A student who passes the examination enrolls in differential calculus, and a student who fails the examination must enroll in pre-calculus. In a freshman class of 1,240 students, there are more students enrolled in pre-calculus than in differential calculus. So many enrollees in pre-calculus than in differential calculus. So meaning to say, many were not able to qualify for the next course, which is differential calculus. However, if 30 more students had passed the test, each course would have the same enrollment. So how many students are taking differential calculus? So let us denote x as those students taking differential calculus. And therefore, the number of students enrolled in pre-calculus would be 1,240 minus x. And take note that these numbers are not equal. In short, those students in pre-calculus, the number is greater than this number. So x is less than 1,240 minus x. For these two to be equal, it is stated here that if 30 more students had passed the test, each course would have the same enrollment. So that is, if 30 students had passed the test, then the number of students enrolled in differential calculus would be 30 students more. So this is x plus 30, and the number of students enrolled in pre-calculus will be reduced by 30. So 1,240 minus x minus 30. And according to the statement there, these numbers are now equal, so equals. Solving for x, so simplifying first, x plus x after transposition is 1,240 minus 30 minus 30. So that's 2x equals 1,180. Then dividing everything by 2, 1,180 over 2, so x is 590. So there are 590 students enrolled in differential calculus. 11. A square flower bed is surrounded by a cement walk of uniform width, and the area of the path is 84 square feet. If the width of the walk were increased by 1 foot, the cement area would be increased by 92 square feet. Find the length of a side of the flower bed. So to help analyze this problem, let's have the figure as our guide. So this is the flower bed, which is square, and it is surrounded by cement walk as shown. The width is, we will call the width originally of the cement walk, which is uniform as x. So we will also call the dimension of the square flower bed as e, and we're looking for e. And this one as x, X at the left, X at the right. So it is also the cement walk in plan is also a square. So from the first statement, the dimension of the outside dimension of the cement walk, which is a square, because that's area of square, minus area of the square flower bed is equal to 84 as stated here, area of the path. So quantity, the dimension of outside would be a plus 2x, quantity square, minus a square equals 84. So a plus 2x, quantity square, minus e square equals 84. Simplifying, this is e square plus 4ex plus 4x square minus e square is equal to 84. Canceling out e square and 4ex, or divided by 4, everything, 84 over 4 is 21. So this becomes ex plus x squared equals 21. Call that equation 1. In the second part, we have here, if the width of the walk were increased by 1 foot, so if this is increased by 1 foot, this becomes x plus 1. Then the cement area would be increased by 92 square feet. So the total area of the walk would now be 84 plus 92 for that case. The new dimension, outside dimension, would be e plus 2 times quantity x plus 1. Then we square it. E plus 2 times quantity x plus 1, then quantity square, minus e square, then it is equal to 84 plus 92 square feet. This would now be the total area of the walk. So expanding, we have e square plus 4e quantity x plus 1 square plus 4 quantity x plus 1 square, square of the second term, minus e square equals 176. So we can cancel again e square. So we have 4e quantity x plus 1 plus 4, then expand. 4 times quantity x plus 1 square equals 176. Divide everything by 4, at the same time distribute and expand. So we have e times x plus 1, then x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 44. Take note that we already divide everything by 4. Then we have ex plus e plus x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 44. Replacing ex plus x squared here, which is equal to 21 from equation 1. So we have 21 plus e plus 2x plus 1 equals 44. So e plus 2x equals 44 minus 1 minus 21 equals 22. So e plus 2x equals 22. Factor out 2. Then we can now express e in terms of x. E is equal to 2 times quantity 11 minus x. Then we substitute this e into equation 1. So 2 times quantity 11 minus x times x plus x squared equals 21. Distribute. So that's 22 minus 22x minus 2x squared plus x squared equals 21. So simplifying, we have negative x squared to the right, so it is x squared, transpose this to the right, minus 22x, then plus 21 equals 0. So the quadratic equation is x squared minus 22x plus 21 equals 0. Then we can write this in factored form as x minus 1 and times x minus 21 equals 0. So x is 1 and x 1 foot and x is 21 feet. For x equals 21 feet, if x is 21, 11 minus 21 becomes negative. That's why the value of e would be negative, and so it is an absurd value. We reject that. We only allow or accept x is 1 foot. So if x is 1 foot, then we have 2 quantity 11 minus 1 E is equal to 20 feet. So that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching and you have gained skills, techniques on analyzing problems in algebra. And I hope that your skills will little by little develop, especially those who are still developing, and that would make you prepare in engineering life.